happens when I put a helmet on. Like, I need a shower after. My hair is wrecked.
You ready for all that's to come today? You know, all that stuff you got to be running around doing today?
Oh, I'm so excited. Yeah, I'm just grateful for this opportunity. So.
I guess first thing I'll ask you.
Ben, what does it mean to you that, when you think about your career, we've talked about it a lot to you, involved, but like where you've come from, being that walk and everything, to this point that Coach Prime wants you here at Big 12 Media Day to represent the team.
Yeah, no, it's just an absolute blessing, and I'm so extremely thankful for Coach Prime. He's the first coach that I felt like in my career that really believed in me. And to be honest with you, I didn't understand why at first. Like I should have been one of the guys that he cut. Like I might have been one of the worst players on the team, and he saw something in me, and I'm just extremely grateful for him for continuing to believe in me and wanting to give me opportunities. And just looking back on everything, it's just an absolute blessing. And I just want to thank my family and thank the Lord for all the blessings that they've given me and helped me out with. So
I know your story and everything, but
yeah.
Why have you stuck around all this time? And this is an extra year for you, so why are you wanting to stick around even more?
Yeah, people just tell me that I can't do it. I had, a coach my freshman year. He really is kind of what drives me. I was, he wasn't the nicest person to me, and kind of, I didn't feel like I belonged my freshman year here. And there's so many things that have happened throughout my career, and people that have pissed me off, and people that don't believe in me, and I just want to prove all of them wrong, and prove all of them that not only am I going to be doing this here, but I'm going to do it at a high level, an extremely high level. So that's why, I have an extreme passion for the University of Colorado. And my senior year, summer headed into my senior year, I took a visit to the Colorado School of Mines because they recruited me pretty hard, knowing that I wanted to be an engineer. And after the visit, it didn't quite feel right. And so I was like, Dad, can we drive up to Folsom? I'd never seen the campus. I just want to look into the stadium. And we drove up and looked through one of the southwest corner gates, and I just looked down the stadium and I was like, Dad, I'm coming here. And so I made it my goal from that point on. I was gonna figure out a way to get there. And then, since I got my foot in the door, I'm just proving my way onto the field and proving to my teammates that I'm gonna play at this level, and I'm gonna do it at an extremely high level, and I'm gonna lead you guys in a way that it should happen. So yeah, I wake up with something to prove every day because a lot of people just don't believe in me, and it pisses me off, to be honest with you.
Ben, last time we got to talk to you was at the end of the spring. You talked all about kind of what you guys, all the list of things you want to do, team bonding activities you had planned for the summer. Like how much have you guys been able to accomplish of that, and just kind of what's it been like these last 2 months or so now, kind of bonding more with these guys? I'm sure you had some time off campus, but just kind of getting back this summer and getting these guys together.
Yeah, no, we've been doing tons of team bonding this whole summer. We actually, it's a funny story. So me, Creed Thomas, Valance McCamara, and Danny Scudero, we all just bought a fishing boat off of Facebook Marketplace for $400, and we've just been taking guys out to do things they've never done, and seeing the light in their eyes, like some of these guys that have never caught a fish before, that have never shot a gun before, done all these things that I grew up doing. It's like the light in their eyes when they get to do things like this. Like Coach Prime brought a bunch of us down to his house in Dallas, and just some of these guys have never even seen a horse or ridden a four-wheel, and it's just the light in their eyes. It's like you can't take that away from someone, and showing them that you care enough to take them to do something like that, and to take them to do things that they've never done before is really it's a cool feeling. So
what's the quality of that boat?
It gets the job done. Is that good quality? Yeah, it's a canoe with a trolling motor, so it's not very good.
With your mindset of being overlooked, do you feel like that's something that's maybe shared by a lot of your teammates, and something that could maybe be beneficial this season, coming up the last year?
Yeah, most definitely. And a lot of the guys that we recruited out the portal this year came from smaller schools, and so they're pissed off because they get told the same thing, like, can you play at this level? And so we're all kind of bonded by one mindset of I gotta hold back my words here, but we're gonna prove all these dudes wrong, and that's kind of the mentality that we bought into as a team. So yeah.
Similarly, you guys had nobody on the preseason All Big 12 team yesterday. Is that just another motivating factor for you guys? So there's poll rankings wise, but no names on the preseason media poll, where maybe there could have been a couple of guys that feel like they could have been. I feel like they should have been on there. Is that another motivating factor for you guys?
Yeah, I was just talking with Danny about that yesterday when we were in the tubs after our workout. It just pisses us off. And it's that's fine, because we're gonna prove you wrong every time. So it's just another motivator, and it just makes us have to kick it into a higher gear. And so we're just going to continue to work and prove people wrong.
Ben, you've been here for the whole time Coach has been here. What have you seen in the trajectory? I mean, obviously there was the build-in year, then a good year, then last year. What have you seen with Coach? How have you seen him?
Yeah, I mean, obviously Coach wanted to be around more than he could last year. And his health, I'm praying for him on a daily basis. But guess what? He's around every day this summer. He's been around more than I've ever seen him in my entire life. And so the way that he's bought into our team this year, he's taken it up another level. Like I'm talking about twice as much as I've ever seen him around. And the thing with last year was we just didn't have the players that wanted to lead and were willing. And it starts with me. I didn't feel confident enough in myself. I didn't feel like I had necessarily played enough on defense to be able to step up and say something and to lead. And after getting this past year under my belt and gaining some confidence knowing I can play at this level, it's significantly helped me. And talking as the guys that stayed from this past season, it pissed us off, the fact that there was no leadership. And we were like, this is not going to happen again. And so the way that all of us have kind of come together and talked about what's going to require of us as a leadership group has just substantially increased. And we've gotten all on the same page about, who we want to be, how we want to be at workouts, how we want to be at practice. And so it's just going to be, it's so much more of a player-led team this year than it was last year. And it started with, the guys that needed to take a step up. So I'm proud of every one of them for that.
You talk about players having a chip on their shoulder.
Yeah.
I don't think Coach needs a chip on his shoulder. We know Coach. But do you see something else in him? I know he doesn't like, even though he wasn't around as much, I know he doesn't like the full results of what's happened these first 3 years.
Yeah. No, I mean, and you say that, he doesn't have a chip on his shoulder. He does. Because he's a competitor. And he's just as pissed off as we are. And so, yeah, like that, like I said, like this is the most I've ever seen him, like he's in there. He's probably sleeping in the facilities, for being completely honest. But, like, he's in there longer than all of us every single day. First one in, last one out. And so, like, it's, he's got something to prove, too. Last year didn't sit well with him. He's a competitor, so he's not going to put up with that.
You mentioned in the spring this team reminded you of Indiana in a way.
Yeah.
What did you mean by that?
Yeah, just, like, Indiana had 0, 4, and 5-star recruits, Do we have, aside from maybe Julian Lewis, do we have a single 4 or 5-star recruit? We don't care. Recruiting stars don't mean anything. I was a 0-star recruit, This guy was a 0-star recruit. Half the guys that are here were 0-star recruits. We don't care because this is not high school. This is college, and it's a different level. And so you got to find something that's going to set you apart. And so, yeah, like the way that Indiana played together, the way that they came together, like that's been our entire goal. Like the brotherhood that they built, the leadership that they had, and that's all that we've been focused on. So that's what I meant by, trying to be a team like Indiana.
Yeah, obviously last season you guys struggled in close games, one-score games. There was a bunch of games where you built double-digit leads and blew it away. That's kind of the definition of this conference, is how good you are in one-score games, how successful you are. What did you learn about last season that maybe feels like you guys know what it takes this time around to come away with wins in some of those close games?
Yeah, you got to not make it about yourself, and you got to make it about, I'm going to win for the person beside me. And as soon as you make it about yourself in this game, you'll lose sight of it, and it's not going to be about the right things anymore. And so, like, in those close scoring games, like, you got to know that, like, we have each other's back. And we got to know as a team and a collective unit, like, we have to be one thought that, like, we're not losing this game. Like, that's not an option. And so that's kind of the thing that we were missing last year, is, like, you get into those moments and it's like you look to your left and to your right and it's like, do you want to win? Or are you just here to, collect the check and move on? And like that was the frustrating part about last year, but I can promise you that it's not the way that these guys are operating this year. So it's going to be exciting.
Question for Ben, and then we're going to
Yeah.
Started your career 1-11, that team.
Yeah.
How about that? Too, you've played with the Heisman Trophy winner, Shedeur Sanders, things like that. So you've seen both sides, right?
Yeah.
What gives you confidence in this team and the talent to say this team's good enough to be closer to 24 than you were last year?
The leadership. Everything starts like, you guys have probably heard it all the time. Like, player-led teams win championships, and that's how it works. Like, it's the mentality that I've tried to get all of us to adopt is like, who cares what the coaches call? We're the ones playing. Like, they might make a mistake. Who cares? We clean it up, especially us on the back end, like as safeties. Like, if someone screws up, who cares? We get to clean it up. And so that's kind of the mentality that we've taken, is like, it doesn't matter what they call. It doesn't matter what happens. Like, it's going to come down to the players and how we decide to come together and how we decide to play together. So that's been just the biggest focus for all of us.
Thanks, Ben.
Thanks, Ben.
Cool. Thanks, you guys. Appreciate it.